Hello, my name is Sam and I'm part of the Lenses development team. Today I'd like to show you a developer preview of the newest features in the Lenses SQL engine for Apache Kafka. If you're already familiar with the Lenses platform, then performance select queries will be nothing new. However, in the upcoming 2.2 release, we've added support for create, insert, delete, drop, and describe statements, rounding out the SQL feature set. For the rest of this video, we'll use the terms table and topic interchangeably. Let's start by demonstrating how to create a new topic in Kafka. The syntax is the same as for a regular SQL create statement, so we start with create table, followed by the table name. In this case, the table will be called weather because we're going to be creating some weather data for various cities. Our fields will include a key, which will be the name of the city, and a location encoded as a longitude and latitude. And finally, we'll have the current temperature in the city itself, which will just be a simple value of a long. You can see the advanced IntelliSense of the SQL editor was suggesting keywords and also the types available for the fields as I was completing the query. We are able to easily create nested data by using the dot delimiter between names. In this table, the latitude and longitude fields will be children of a parent type called location. One additional requirement is that we must set the schema types for our key and values. The editor has highlighted an error in the query, and as you can see, if we roll over the icon, it lets us know that it expects the keyword format, otherwise the query is not valid. So we need to add the format, and we do that using the format keyword followed by the types. In our case, the key will be string and the value type will be avro. The key is always specified first. Next, the topic will need to be compacted so that we are able to delete messages, and it should be partitioned for scalability. We'll set both of these by adding properties to the query. Compacted equals to true, and partitions equals to 3. You can actually specify many other properties using this syntax. With the create statement now ready, I'll execute it. We can see when the query returns successfully by the message that has appeared saying the topic weather has been created. In order to prove the topic exists, we'll now execute another of the newly supported queries, this time a describe query. The describe query simply returns information about a topic, so we can enter the query with the topic name that we created earlier, which of course was weather, and you can see that IntelliSense is already suggesting the topic name. Once the query returns, we'll switch to grid view, and this will show us that the topic was created, as well as the schema fields, such as the location and temperature with the correct types of double and long, as well as the other config values that have been set on the table, including compaction mode, which, as mentioned earlier, we'll need when we come to delete messages. Now that we have our newly created table, let's try adding some data. This time, we'll use a standard SQL insert query, and we'll insert a single row of data. I'll use London as the city name, as I happen to already know the latitude and longitude for London, and I think today's weather, being a cool October, is around 10 degrees. After executing the query, we may want to verify that the data was actually written, so we'll use a select query as a quick sanity check. Running the simplest type of query, a select star, from the table that we created, we can see that the return data will include the row that we created, which was London. As we can see, the location of the longitude and latitude and the temperature have all been set correctly on the data. Let's do the same again, inserting another row of data, this time using the historic city of Athens. I think we'd naturally assume that the weather was a little bit more sunny in Athens, so I'll set the temperature this time to a nice 22 degrees. After executing this data, we'll run another select query to show that we now have 2 rows of data. After the query returns, we'll see that there are 2 messages on this topic, Athens and London, and the values should be correct of the longitude, latitude, and temperature. Let's now demonstrate the delete query. As a side note, be aware that delete, using an expression other than the offset, only works on topics which are compacted, which is why when I created the topic earlier, I set the compacted flag. I'll use a simple string equality expression to wipe out the weather for London and keep the weather for Athens. After the delete query completes, we can see that the result shows one record was deleted. I'll now quickly run a select query as another sanity check, which will show the original row and a new row which is the same key, i.e. London, but with a null value. This is the way deletes are handled in Kafka. And as you can see, the results are as expected. Finally, we'll be good citizens and clean up after ourselves by deleting the topic that we've been playing around with. And we'll do this with a standard SQL drop table statement. Now that this is completed, the table has been deleted. This wraps up our brief introduction into the expanded SQL feature set in Lenses 2.2. Thank you for watching.